Oh, hello. Happy Thursday. I've got this weird feeling that I've forgotten something. And I probably have. But I don't know what it is. Hi from Hungary. Oh, hello. Hello from Hungary. Hey, Paul. Where's Kerry? Is Kerry around? Andrea? Afif? Raquel? Nick? I am switching from Adobe. Awesome. Corey? Hey. Hello from Singapore. From Holland. Awesome. I don't know how to get it so I can see people's names. It's got like usernames at the minute. I think it's different on the main channel. Is there a setting somewhere? Right, we're going to be doing some logo design today. Hello from Chile. Nice. I used to call Chile Chile for so many years until my Scottish friend politely suggested that I may be pronouncing it wrong and then made me feel like an absolute idiot. Hey, Reese. I don't know if I said that already. Hey, Reese again. Kea, ding dong. Hello from Manila. I don't even know where Manila is. Where's Manila? My geography is getting better. Oh, it's been experimenting with showing usernames on some channels. Well, that is just silly. For live streams. You know, where you actually want to, like, you know, maybe, I don't know, interact and talk to people with their name. But now, you know, we've got Kea-C4J3. Hi, Kea-C4-3, or whatever it was. Right. This is going to be interesting. So I saw this logo the other day, Enviromech. We were driving somewhere in, I don't know where we were actually. Bristol, maybe? Anyway, there was a van in front. Now, 90% of vehicle graphics are usually awful. Like, I see them all the time. I could probably do a mini series on just vehicle graphics, to be honest. But I saw this logo, and I was like, that needs a redesign. It needs a redesign. So what I've done is I've gone on their website, Enviromech. The style of the website, like, it doesn't really have a very clear identity, but, you know, the website is functional. It's got information, there's pictures. Even this top part, you can see there is like a bit like a style sort of starting to form, and then it sort of goes a bit out the window down here. But yeah, the logo. I don't like the logo. I think there's so many things wrong with it, but I think it will serve as a really interesting challenge and mini project today to try and redesign this and try and align it better, not just to, you know, what their brand and their business does, but actually just make it more practical, because at the moment it's not very practical. And it doesn't look great. So we're going to try and work on that. And so what I've done is I've got ChatGPT, because we're doing this all at speed today. ChatGPT to just analyze the website, the business, and write a short brief. So this is a nice condensed design brief. It did do a very long one before, and it was just like, come on, like, we're going to try and bang out a logo in 90 minutes. Like, don't overload my brain. Like, so we just got clear titles. What is the business? Who's the target audience? The brand values, the design goals, so while we're actually doing the damn thing, the visual direction or anything kind of that could be related to that, and then the tone. So we've at least got this as kind of like a short form list that we can just quickly reference. Yeah, there we go. So we'll keep that sort of nearby, and Raquel's going to remember to poke me every time I forget the brief. No, this is part of the 90% of thief. Honestly, most vehicle graphics, a lot of the time it's for sort of small businesses, you know, like construction, electricians, plumbers, a lot of sort of trade related stuff. And it just, yeah. And so when I see like a really nice, like a logo or a well-designed vehicle, it stands out. But yeah, so many of them are just terrible. At least by my standards, you know. Maybe someone else would say they're fine, but to me, I will sit there and pick holes in it and be like, yeah, this could be better, and this is wrong, and these curves are wonky, and blah, blah, blah. Could you please share it on Discord? Yes, absolutely. Let's whip up the Discord. So I will pop the brief in the Discord. If you want to join the Discord, by the way, dansky.com. And there's a link to the Discord community on the homepage. And if I got I'll chuck the website in as well, actually, because then you can just save the logo. Just right-click it and save it. There you go. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. We're going to set a timer for 90 minutes. So we're going to time this, which is going to make things slightly more interesting. He says. We'll see. The Briefkeeper, yeah. That is Raquel's name. Yeah, Afif said that yesterday. I had an argument with them, and they said my packages, because my package is about to expire, and they said they would give 2 free months of packages. Who said that? Sorry, I think I missed the first part. Then I told them Affinity was free. Oh, Adobe. Okay. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, Affinity going free has definitely shaken up what's it shaken up? Kicked the hornet's nest? Shaken up the sweet jar? That's not a thing. You know the expression. I just can't think of it. Upset the apple cart. That's a good one. You mentioned yesterday Designer 2. Which do you prefer, the older apps or the new one? The AI feature. Okay, so I haven't used all of them yet. The ones that the one that I can't live without is Select Subject. I can't even find it now. Where is it? I've stuck it up here. It's just one of those ones that is so much better. Where the flipping heck is it? Where is it? Over here? Or have I got rid of it? Maybe I've got rid of it because I put it up there. I don't know. But yeah. Or maybe it just lives up there, actually. I think it just lives up there. Sorry, I'm being a lemon. And it does, the selections that it does are better than the selection tools. There's just no question about it. We've done some tests on it. I say we, me and Raquel, and we've confirmed that that it's definitely better. I've not used all of these. This one's kind of cool because, and I used this yesterday on an image that was quite low res and pixelated, and it made a much higher res version. But honestly, I've not played around with loads of these. This one's cool, but there's a live filter that does something similar as well. And generative expand, I've not tried it out yet, but I use it in Photoshop, so I know I probably will end up needing that one as well. But if you said to me you have to live without them and you can't ever use them again, I'd be okay. Like, the selection tools are okay. I think it's just going to take a bit of time to figure out how to get the most out of them. Hey, Kyle. Do you think there's a catch to Affinity since Canva is planning to be listed IPO? What's IPO? I've got no idea what that means. Did you see my questions about graphics tablets? No. Please, could you post it again? Oh, really? Yeah, the thing with the selection tools, and this might be me doing it, I don't know, is that when I make a selection, it looks fine with the marching ants. When I then click mask, the edge looks all, I don't know how to describe it. I sent some screenshots in the Discord the other day. Just kind of like a bit scuffly and blurry and messy, and I don't know if there's like a setting or something where I can just say, you know, the selection of the marching ants, that clean cut, no fluffiness or anything. So it could be that there's a setting or something I can do somewhere. XP Pen is XP Pen is a good brand, yeah. XP Pen, so I always recommend XP Pen because what you get for the money is, at least from my somewhat limited experience, it's just more than you get with like a Wacom. Like Wacom is great. You know, I've had a Wacom graphics tablet before, but they are quite expensive. Whereas with XP Pen, it's cheaper, but it's still great. So I've only used like 3 pen displays and a few graphics tablets in my life, and there's loads of other brands out there. If you want to look up good graphics tablets, Brad Colbo, I think that's his name, is the YouTube guy who does all the graphics tablet stuff. Like, he just covers all of them, he reviews them, pros, cons. Yeah, that's the guy you want to look up. What size do you recommend? Are you talking about a tablet or a pen display where you draw directly on the screen? If you're going to draw directly on the screen, I'd say at least probably like a 12-inch screen size. Hey, Kerry. Are you XP Pen, Kerry? I can't remember. Yeah, right. So did you figure that out then? How to get around the edges being sharper? The selections itself, like the way it selects things, that's good. It makes a selection, but it's just the edges aren't good. At least if I give it something remotely challenging. Whereas with the one-click select subject, it nails it. Like, it's flipping brilliant. I couldn't tell you if it's as good as or better than Photoshop's select subject, which has, you know, come on leaps and bounds in the last few months, but it's close. It selects, individual spokes on a bike, just like Photoshop does, and that's like, okay, that's cool. Like, that's what I need. Master Dan has to be kind to me for me to share it, though. Kind? Let's talk about kindness, shall we, Raquel? What was it you said to me yesterday? I can't quite remember. Still recovering from that. A wound cuts deep. Raquel's going to play the victim now. You don't get to play that card after you told me that I'd porked up, even though you're correct. That's true. We're going to have to just shake and call it even, I think. Also, one of you stuck my fingers in my ears as well. And you made me green, so... You look great today. Thanks, Andrea. Thank you. Screen recording. OBS for streaming. Screen recording on this channel where it's super smooth and you see all the clicky animations. Screen Studio. And then I sometimes use ScreenFlow as well. I think those two might be for Mac OS specifically. Truth above all. Oh, thank you, Afif. Looking all slim and slender today. Yesterday, Dan, you looked quite chunky, but today, oh, slim and slender. I'll take that. Anyway, right, we got a lot of work to do, and I don't know, as always, I've got no idea where this is going to go. I've deliberately not really put too much thought into this because it makes it more challenging, but more entertaining, possibly as well, as you watch me panic and everything slowly descend into chaos. So, we're going to set a timer. We're going to go 90 minutes. We'll see what we do. Finish logo, maybe some light guidelines. I got no idea, but we're going to... You're not chunky. You're just a bold font. Oh, that's very kind of you, Ben. Maybe extra bold, maybe heavy, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Definitely not thin. Chunkier than regular. Oh, hey, so creative. First time over here. Excellent. Welcome to the new channel, the Affinity centric channel. Right, we're going to start 90 minutes. All the pressure. Let's go. Right, the great thing about this is we can do this all in one app now, which I love. So I'm going to switch over to Pixel Studio, and this is just going to let me sketch stuff. So this is a very streamlined brief. The whole process is very accelerated, should we say. But let's go and grab some brushes. We'll go and grab... What should we'll do a pink. Pink. Go multiply. And we're just going to try and... This isn't like a full brief. Normally you'd have a questionnaire and you kind of pull out some keywords in the questionnaire. This is a very deliberately streamlined brief generated by the old GPT. But we're going to try and pull out a few keywords anyway. So commercial, mechanical, services. Right, mechanical, that could be very interesting. So we're just going to highlight some keywords. Installation and maintenance of air conditioning, ventilation. Right, this is important as well. Heat pump, cooling systems, and buildings as well. So essentially this company install all these different things into buildings. So their customers are businesses, so B2B, business to business. So architects, contractors, facility managers, and then commercial property owners. So anyone who's going to need air conditioning, ventilation, or, you know, that type of, I don't know what umbrella word you would use, but maintaining temperature throughout properties. So yeah, we're not going to highlight any of those, but that is all kind of important. Right, brand values. So this is what we will need the logo to convey in a non-verbal way, because of course logos can't talk. Or maybe they can. Maybe we could do a voiceover. I don't know. But anyway, brand values, technical expertise. So reliability, sustainability, and cost efficient performance. So reliability, that's going to be a big one, I think. You know, especially if you've got these sorts of people that are going to be working on big projects with lots of money. You don't want your stuff to fail. So we want to convey to these people that we're reliable and that we actually, you know, are not terrible. Technical expertise. I was going to highlight that. We could do something maybe technical oriented, but I don't know. Sustainability, this could be pretty big if you are working on stuff like this. And cost efficient as well. But we don't want it to look cheap. So we've got to be careful there. We could, you know, try and make it look and convey a cheap element, but then, I don't know, you know, reliability, expertise, that doesn't really kind of line up with cheap. So I think maybe we'll just kind of keep these two for now. Create a modern, right, obviously modern, it's kind of a given really. Scales across vehicles, right, so it's got a scale across vehicles, sight, sound, and uniform. So that is, again, these two things are kind of a little bit of a given, but I'll highlight them anyway. Yeah, because the logo might not be modern depending on what it is, but it's just I always design very modern stuff. Oh yeah, good point. I was going to record my screen actually. Thank you, Kyle. I totally forgot that. We'll record the screen anyway and try and capture the process. I totally forgot. Well done. Well done, son. Okay, right. So what we'll do now, just for the screen recording, is we'll undo all that. And then we'll just do that. There we go. And we're all caught up. Fantastic. Right. Visual direction. Okay, clean, minimal representation of a... Right, so that's going to be quite important. Minimal. So, go away. Oh, wait, hang on. What am I doing? Yeah, there we go. Minimal representation of airflow temperature control without cliched symbols. Right, so sometimes you'll get this information from the client when they fill out their questionnaire, and they'll say that they have an idea in mind, and you can take it with a grain of salt. You can follow it. Maybe you don't, maybe you do. But that could be quite important without cliched symbols. So in their logo at the minute, they very much have the cliched symbols. In fact, what is it? I don't know, red for hot, hot and cold. Yeah, so you got the snowflake. So, okay. Without cliched symbols. That's not to say we couldn't do something more interesting, you know. The snowflake here could be very similar to like the blades on a ventilation fan. So something combining the two together. But yeah, not just, let's just whack on a temperature icon and some text. Right, trustworthy, engineered, efficient, and environmentally focused. Okay, so this all sort of comes back to... Well, we'll do some connections in a minute. And then we've got trustworthy. I'm just trying to do these straight. I can't do a straight line. Engineered, environmentally focused. So trustworthy, reliability, sustainability, environmentally focused. So normally that would be a lot larger. That would be your questionnaire. Can you do timeouts here? I don't know if I can. Screen Studio, is it free? No. But it's very good. It's very good. I think actually Screen Studio, they've got you can do the monthly subscription, but you can also just buy it outright. So I would try it out if you value all the clicky animations and all the super cursor smoothing stuff and all the features it's got. Like, it is flipping good. Try it out with a subscription for a month. If you like it, you just buy it and own it forever. So I like the fact there's two options there. I don't know. That's a good question. I'd love to know the answer. If Affinity's free, how much will the product improve? I don't know. I hope they keep supporting it and adding features and things, but... Yeah, that was Screen Studio. Screen Flow, I think you can buy one-off purchase, and that is Mac only, I think. What's the strange logo in the top right? That's the existing logo. Yeah, I tried holding shift. It didn't work. Oh, it's a weird thing. When I've got my tablet hooked up, I've got like an XP Pen app. Whenever I have it hooked up, my shift alter option, you know, like the modifier keys, they don't always register the press. Yeah, like I'm pressing shift, but I have to like press it and hold it down hard to get the... Anyway, yeah, it's like a weird thing. My key presses don't always register. It's, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of conflict between something or something. I'm not sure. But right, so we've got that on one layer. And then we're going to switch to a different type of brush. Where are my brushes? And we'll go for something like this. Hardness. No, that's not hardness, is it? That's the flow, 25%. And like a nice, yeah, a nice sketchy brush. Is that the... Yeah, that is the flow. Maybe 10%. Yeah, and this is cool because we can just do all this in the Pixel Studio and sketch this out. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and create some bubbles and do a little bit of word mapping. Play a game of word association. I want a logo for an untrustworthy company. that overcharges and does shoddy work. That'd be fun. The pen tablet right now is an Artist Pro 16 TP XP pen. I've done reviews for that and the XP Pen 12, Artist 12 Gen 2, both on the channel. The price difference is quite a lot between the two. This is like the flagship model and the other one's like a more budget-friendly version. But it's still a pen display and it's still really good. It's just like the build quality and some of the other stuff. You can see where it's kind of a bit... they've saved on the cost there. But it's still a pen display, you know, and it's 12-inch and it's really good. I think this one's just a bit more like premium construction. The pen's a bit nicer, that kind of thing. But then you do pay more for it. Huh. I mean, if that's meant to be an E, yeah, you're probably right. I didn't even see that, to be honest. I didn't even see it. I was just looking at it like, what's going on? I mean, honestly, if we did this... we probably wouldn't be having this conversation. We'd probably be doing something else. You know? that's the crazy thing. That's like a massive improvement already. But that's not what happened, so here we are. But even then, you could look at it and say, oh, it's a bit, you know, it could do with a bit more. So right. So what we're going to do is pick out some keywords here that are pretty relevant. So, oh yeah, I forgot I can't write very well. My writing's awful. Right, so we got air flow, temperature. We'll do abbreviations to keep my writing to a minimum because it's awful. Reliability, trust. Okay, so they're, for me, I'm going to put them in the same bubble. Reliability and trust. God, I really do need to learn how to write if I'm going to try and teach like this. It's flipping awful. Also, I've got my new handwriting course coming out soon. Okay. I'm off. You off, are you? Yeah. All right. See you in a bit. I'll see you in a bit. Bye bye. Bye everyone. Bye. Oh, child. Bye. Say hi to your mum for me. Bye. Give her a squeeze. Andrea's laughing at you. Probably. She wrote ha ha ha. It's probably directed at you. She doesn't laugh at me. She wouldn't laugh at me. She wouldn't. No, she wouldn't do that. She wouldn't do that. Bye. Bye 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 bye. Right. Mechanical. And what else have we got? Now we could put heat in one, but no, we could do heat. Heat and cold. Yeah, you get a bubble. And then mechanical. We'll keep it to this because we got like a lot to do and not a lot of time to do it. Side-eye Daniel. Shut up. God, hang on. We can't let that typo slide. Hang on. Cool. Why the lead is getting smaller? No one knows. It's just going to be a mystery of the universe. Right. Okay. Let's move this stuff actually, because this could get creatively messy. Right. We're just going to kind of brainstorm some ideas here. So temperature. So what sort of things? In fact, I'm going to switch to the display. It's a bit easier. What sort of things? So temperature. Maybe arrows. Reliability, trust. So like a shield. Oh god, I can't spell today, can I? Huh, who am I kidding? I can't spell any day. Right, so a shield, like a check mark. It's all, that's a bit typical, but we're just brainstorming. It's fine. Trust. What are the words? You guys are going to be good at this. What are the words for any of these bubbles? I hope I will see no gears in the logo. I don't know if mechanical, maybe gears, possibly, probably not. Airflow and mechanical, fan. So that kind of could relate to both. So that is one to watch. Safe. Yeah, not like a physical safe you put stuff in. How would you represent safe? Padlock? Handshake? A fortress. Yeah. Wait, heat waves. Okay, so airflow. We'll put this. I'm going to put this in between actually because. Oops. Heat waves. Yep. Airflow. But that could also relate to hot and cold and temperature as well. So we're just making connections between different pieces. A hug shape. Business to business. I think we'll pass on the hug, but I like the thought process. It's going to be minimal anyway. Oh, that's all right. Yeah, Brad Colboy. Yeah, he's got a great channel. He talks about a lot of design stuff as well and things that are like happening in the design world. But tablets is like, that's the guy that I think of when I think about tablets and pen displays. Airflow, direction. So again, this could relate to arrows. Flow. That's a really good word. Where would I put that? Flow, which relates there, which could relate to direction, which could relate to arrows. Thermostat. Yeah. Okay, interesting. Thermostat. So essentially something that regulates temperature. I don't know if this is regulator. I don't know if that's really worth including, but I'll put it there anyway. Celsius symbol. The thermostat itself is cliche if we were to just put an icon down, but I was thinking more the characteristics of something regulating temperature. You know, so your thermostat would be very, yep, that's cliche. But what if you were to do something different, you know, and turn it into more of like an abstract mark? Yeah, I think it is like a dial. In fact, that's a really good point. Thank you. Dial. That could be quite cool, actually. And then you've got fan. Like, how else would you? Is a fan and ventilation kind of the same thing? Like, if you say those words, what do you think of? To me, I think of like a, you know, like this sort of thing. Kind of like what you get inside a computer. That looks like a throwing star in a box, but it's meant to be a fan. That's what I sort of think of. Cog for mechanical. Sunlight, light rays. Probably less natural light. Yeah, drawing course incoming. Handwriting course first. A switch. Yes. Very good. I like it. And this is the part of the process that actually can be some of the most fun. This and the sketching ideas, because this is the sort of stuff, if you're like me and you spend all your time at a desk, you could sit down on the sofa or wherever and sketch these ideas out, go to a coffee shop or a field. You don't have to be sat at the desk. So that's what I like to do personally. I'd normally kind of sit on the sofa on the iPad with some headphones on and just enjoy letting those ideas flow. Technical drawing style. Yeah, we could do, but I don't think it's going to feed into the sort of minimal approach. Metal pipe on the ceiling. Yeah, what would that be? Like, obviously part of like a ventilation system. Like duct, ventilation. I don't know. Is that relevant? Because it wouldn't just be that. It's got to cover all sorts of different products, isn't it? Let's go with this now. And because we've got a lot to do. So we'll start with this. And because we got to get a flipping design done yet. Christ. Okay, no pressure, Dan. No pressure. Right, let's get this hardness up. Multiply. Right, we're going to try and formulate something somewhere and come up with an idea. I like flow. That word stood out to me. It could relate to dial quite well. Heat waves, fan. The shape could be very circular as well. Switch. I like switch. How could I integrate that in a way that... Or even like the switch on a UI, turning something on or off. I feel like switch could be quite a good one, but I don't know. Reliability and trust. Oh, I feel like we don't have to visually represent that as well, by the way. We could represent this through color. So blue is a very common color used for trust, you know, professional, that kind of stuff. Reliability. A lot of companies do use blue. So color, we could represent color there. I'm thinking more about the physical forms of a logo mark right now. So if I wanted to do, I think the type will be pretty easy as well. Heat waves, not necessarily heat though. Heat, it could be hot or cold. So then we've got to think about colors, red and blue, obviously. So then we're thinking about a palette. So is the palette going to be made up of red and blue? Or red, blue, and green? And then does that work as a palette? You know, because the sustainability aspect, green is always going to be a very good one. So then you've got maybe a dark blue background with a red, green, and blue palette, which does sort of relate to what they've got now, but we're going to do a better job, hopefully. So maybe that would be a good evolution of their logo, is to keep their palette but refine it. So that could be one idea. Trying to design with you. Awesome. If you do have a go at this, by the way, please do post them in the Discord. Flow equals wave, analog equals digital, 0 and 1 equals switch. Yeah, you could use... it doesn't have to be red necessarily. I was really simplifying it. So you could use like a reddish orange. You could use orange to represent heat as well. And then maybe orange and blue. That actually could be quite a nice palette as well. So I feel like color-wise, that's actually probably going to be not too difficult. It's kind of coming up with an idea for some sort of mark. And we could have done like a droplet turning into a flame, but they did say they wanted to avoid that sort of stereotypical cliche stuff. So flow, arrows, flow, dial, fan. So, and this is the point where you'd probably go back to the brief as well. Design, installation, and maintenance as well. Heat pumps and cooling systems. Heat pumps and cooling systems. I do like the flow angle because regardless of whether it's heat or cooling or ventilation, having some sort of arrow or something representing the flow actually covers all of those. So I think maybe we lean away from trying to show hot and cold in the logo mark itself, and we lean more into the flow aspect. And that could even touch on the mechanical side as well. Maybe a fan? Something to do with flow. So I think flow, dial, but definitely flow. That was the word that stood out to me when someone said it out of all of them. And then we could lead into direction as well. And then I think the colors, we could convey that through color. So I think focusing on the flow aspect and then maybe mixing that with a bit of mechanical somehow, or a fan. I don't know. That could be a good one to go with. Right, let's start sketching some ideas, because otherwise we'll be here forever. Forever. Right, let's put you up there. And we'll group this in a folder and we'll just call it, prep. We'll stick it out of the way for now. And then we can start sketching. So we're going to drop that flow nice and low. Bring the hardness down, and then we should have a nice sketchy style brush. In fact, we actually have pencils here. What am I doing? We've got pencil brushes. Layout pencil. Let's just use some of these. There we go. I should have just done that to begin with. Much easier. That's a good point. The enviro stands for environmentalism. Quite possibly. I think if we can get a green in there, I think it would be quite... Yeah, I think we'd have to get a green in there. So green and blue, maybe. I'm going to look up fan icons. Searching icons is a really good way to speed up the process as well sometimes. I don't know if that's too stereotypical. Ah, this could be good. So this, particularly not that itself, but the shape of the blades. Very clean, geometric, almost like one of those, what are they called? Is it pinwheels? So we could do something with that. That could be quite interesting. But we'll see. And yeah, no, we'll leave that there and we'll do a bit more sketching first. All right. So flow. Yeah. What is the one thing that made you say yes to Affinity, bugs aside? The fact that it's all one app and it's free. The fact that it's all one app is the biggest thing for me personally. That's what I always wanted a company to do. Because now I just do it all in one app and switch at the top here. I'm just sort of mocking up that fan idea. I wonder if there's some sort of weird Affinity connection. Someone said Affinity a minute ago. Do you know what I mean? Something like that. So not actually having the fan bit in the middle, but just trying to represent flow through those shapes. I'll try and get this as accurate as I can. And hopefully you can still hear me. I'm just sort of leaning over the tablet. It's a bit easier to kind of draw on the screen. So it kind of has the characteristics of a fan. Or what we could do is have all the lines in black, for example, and then we could have one line here in green. So kind of like showing the flow, but still having it as part of the design, you know? A fan with a flower. I think this is kind of a bit like a flower, yeah, like, kind of like a pinwheel. Is it called a pinwheel? You know, the thing, the spinny thing on the stick. If you could add any feature to Affinity, what would it be? Oh, I don't know. It's a bit early to say. You can have documents within documents within Affinity. So they have the functionality of a smart object, but I would love to be able to click a layer and then make it into an Affinity file within this file. So kind of, you know, having that option to basically create the equivalent of a smart object in Affinity. Because you can import Affinity files back into Affinity. But I would love to just be able to create one from the layers panel. But I don't know. Maybe if I use Affinity more, the need for smart objects will disappear because it does a lot of stuff differently where you work non-destructively anyway. So I don't know if that's just like a habit from Photoshop I'm used to, but that's not necessarily a reason to spend dev time making a feature. The flow and bird relationship. Maybe a bird. So what are you thinking? Like, oh no, he's trying to draw a bird. I mean, you could. I don't know if a bird is really relevant, and we didn't really brainstorm anything to do with a bird. But you could. You could try and do something, I suppose. I mean, the name is Envira, so yeah, I suppose you could lean into the environmental aspect maybe a bit more than I have done. And this would look very geometric as well. So yeah, it's a little bit twittery, but you could. But then again, lots of companies have used birds before. But it's more about representing the flow. But I don't know. Yeah. So what other things could we draw with flow? Like this fan idea was kind of good. It sort of happened a bit accidentally. Don't know what that was. Flow. I mean, I've seen this a lot as well. You know, they do the waves. I feel like that's been done a lot before. What other ways could you? You could do something like that where it still connects. So this could be your hot, and this could be your cold. So it's kind of like a subtle representation of heat and cold, hot and cold kind of merging together. We could connect them up. That looks a bit like toothpaste. Or a leaf. I don't know. There's a leaf. There we go. Environment. Check. What about a dial? So dials around. Pretend that's a circle. No, that's not a bad circle, actually. A dial, a dial, a dial. So what we could do is lean into the temperature control aspect a bit more. No, that's already a symbol for something on an iPhone, I think. A dial. What would a dial normally look like? It would be kind of something like that, wouldn't it? Some sort of dial. An industrial fan. Contained within something. So that's kind of typically what you think of with a fan. Is there something we could do with that makes it less, yeah, like less literal, I think. So kind of, I love this idea. So where's a fan? I need to get some, or like a fan blade specifically, but like more of an industrial one. Industrial fan icon, that's what I want. Like the kind of ventilation. Because I don't want to simply just plonk an icon in there, because that's just, well, boring. But it's looking at some of the characteristics of it and trying to represent it in like a minimal way. What about like that? I do like that idea. And we could even curve it as well to make it doesn't have to be like super razor sharp. You could put it in a box. You could put it in a shield. You could actually put it in anything because of its shape. So we could put it in that sort of shape, put it in a circle. The blades of a turbine. A ripple. What about an arrow? Flow. Someone said the affinity symbol already. So the cycle. So this is a bit, it's a bit stereotypical. I think I've done a logo that uses the infinity symbol before. Is there an interesting twist we could do on the infinity symbol? Or it doesn't have to be the infinity symbol. It could be showing something like, let's do it square. You know, we could do something slightly differently. It doesn't have to be just, it's just showing that kind of that loop, that connection. I don't know if we're going to get it in an E unless we did something. Oh, actually, no. Huh. You could do. It shows flow. So I would maybe not write that off just yet. If we did it as a circle, though, how would that work? So kind of break it there. Could look kind of cool. Could be a representation of flow. It does look like, it does look like a GPU, doesn't it? What about that one? Obviously, ignore the. I know it looks like a really, really long sausage, but, but if you just ignore that for now and pretend that it's better, that could be an E. I think I might even go for like a dark blue background with a green on it. Green to sort of turquoisey color. I think that sort of palette of dark blue, light blue, and green would look really good. You can then convey the trust aspect and the environmental sustainable side of it as well with those colors. I think curvy and something suggesting hot and cold is the way to go. Curvy. I'm going to try and refine this one a bit more. It's a bit sharp at the minute, so how could we make it less sharp? If it's rounded, does it have the same? Although we could chunk these lines up and round off the corner on the strokes. Could we make this all one line? Could you do that out of one line? No. No is the answer to that. Actually, no. Let's not write it off just yet. So we'll do a line. And then we're going to... Right, we're going to have to start from the middle, aren't we, for this to work? So going over there, like that. Could that work? That would look... If I could get the whole thing done out of one line, that would be flipping delicious. That would be really cool. If I can get it showing the flow, but with one line. This is going to be the point where it will go wrong. So how am I going to connect this up? Do I need to round them? Do I need to round them? So if we start with the problem piece, which is this, and then that's going to have to go straight down. And then it's going to have to come up. And then there's going to have to be a piece there. So it all has to go through that central point for this to work, I think. That's terrible. Let's try that again, Dan. And then this. So we're going to not connect the end up. So it legitimately looks like one line. And then we won't connect this part up here. So this is our start point. This is our end point. So we'll leave them broken to show that it's one point, but then we're going to have to add. Can we get away with that? Add a break. There and there. It's hard because they're all intersecting, so it's like, which bit do you break? You know, do you do that one? And then cross those over, but then leave that one disconnected. That might be the way to go. Yes, I'm using a tablet, a pen display. Make the joint point curve spheric. Do you mean this one here? I think one way to... I want to pursue this idea, I think because we've only got like 43 minutes. And the easiest way for me to do that is probably to... We could sketch out more ideas, and we probably will end up doing that, but I'm going to grab an arc. So how do I do it? There's a trick with the donut tool, and I can't remember it. So someone might have to help me out here. Yeah, there we go. There we go. We have an arc. Cheeky little trick. Right, we're going to switch to Vector Studio now, because now I need to be able to control stroke weights and stuff really easily. That's too much. So I'm just going to try grabbing this arc and rotating things around. Oh, we need the... We need the semicircular aspect as well, don't we? So we're going to have to rotate this. So we're just going to try and create this out of sort of geometric pieces to see if it could work. Let me duplicate and rotate. Let's go and move you over here. And let's try adjusting the scale. So we could do that to chunk it up a bit, which I think is good. And then duplicate and rotate. Oops, I missed a part off then, but let's just try something. I've just realized this is probably the first proper go at doing something like this in Affinity. So I just thought, yeah, let's do a logo. Wait a second. How do we do this? I don't know. All right, great. We'll figure it out. I've already forgotten how to break paths. Oh no. How do I... Yeah, it is that one. I thought I was going mad then. Right, let's try It's so hard trying to work at speed. Oh, there we go. That's it. That looks cool. It's so hard trying to work at... I'm trying to tap to deselect everything. Tap doesn't... Tapping the tablet. Why is it not deselecting my layers? Yeah, I'm like clicking on the workspace. Oh yeah, that's so confusing. It's when you're trying to work at speed and you're so used to Illustrator's shortcuts. It's so difficult trying to use something else. I'm just going to restart Affinity a sec, just to see if that's the problem. Normally when I click, if I click nowhere, it normally deselects. So if I click anywhere on the workspace, is that a thing or am I going a bit insane? Have I turned something on? Yeah, command click seems to work, but I swear you could just click anywhere and deselect. Escape works as well. Yeah, look, it seems to automatically just default to selecting the group. Auto select objects. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's the setting up there. So auto select objects, because it was defaulting to just selecting the group, and it was like, what's going on? The blades look like the top part of an E. I suppose they do. Right, this isn't all connected actually, so I'm going to have to see if I can figure out how to connect this. Actually, do you know, if we manage to pull this off, the biggest achievement will be doing this in Affinity, because I really do not fully know what I'm doing yet. Like, I know all the tools, but it's just like the shape builder tool, stuff like that. It's very, very similar to Illustrator, but it's slightly different as well. And I just haven't quite figured out all the nuances yet where it just becomes second nature. So here I've got two separate lines and I want to... I've got to go into vector. So I want to select them. How do I stop this from being a pie? Convert to curves? I think that'll do it, yeah. so hard to know what to... Right, there we go. Convert to curves. Okay, so it's not a pie anymore. Just two lines, and now I should be able to select them and join them. These icons confuse the hell out of me. Where's join? Join? Is that join? No. Join? Why can't I join? Why won't it let me join? Please, I want to join. Merge curves. What's that? I don't know what that is. Select the curves, not the anchor point. It doesn't seem to be working. Yeah, like if I move them apart and select them, I should just be able to go and click that, right? Break. Yeah, see, there we go. That doesn't make any sense to me. So if I select these, I then break them, and now I can merge them. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not entirely sure why that behaves that way, or I'm not quite used to it yet. No, we'll leave that alone. Is that just 1 point now? No. Oh no, we got 2 points. Ugh, what have I done? Oh, that's quite cool actually. Right. Okay. So hopefully we've got 1 point now. No, we've got 2. Oh no. This can't be this difficult to flip and connect anchor points. There we go. Okay. I don't know what I did, but we got there. Sort of. Goodness me. Oh lordy. Right. So there's that. What about? I don't know. I don't know what that is. I was trying to draw an exotic fan. It didn't really work. No, just stop, Dan. just stop. Right. Let's try rotating that, and then this. Right. So I want to continue this line. So this is again. How do I continue that? Is that right? Why is it curving it? I don't want to curve it. There we go. Please be part of the same. Yeah, okay. Okie dokie. So we select it with the node McWhat's-it, and then there we go. And I'm going to need to make sure, actually, that I do put these in the right place so the whole thing is symmetrical. So we're going to reduce the height by 50%. So I'm just using this line here as kind of like a halfway marker. And then these, I can move these up and then use the arrow key presses to move them down. So I'm just kind of marking that central point so I know that these vertical lines, both of them are the exact same length. Then I can group it to get rid of that weird transform box. If you group it, it just sets it back to like a normal box, horizontal and vertical. Duplicate, rotate. Ah, they're too close. So we'll do another hold shift and arrow key nudge. We'll do 2, I think. And this is confusing my brain. Which bit? Me too, Victoria, if that's any consolation. Which bit in particular is it actually making it? Because at the minute, I'm at the point where I'm used to Illustrator. I've been using it for like over 20 years now. And I'm using Affinity's equivalent of those tools. And they're very similar. And I'm sure they're fine. But it's just getting used to... When you're so used to something else, it just takes a bit of... why is this not working in the way that I'm used to? Can't unsee it now. Can't unsee what? Right. In terms of... I mean, for anyone who's watching this as well, like this is like massively accelerated. The speed of this process, like normally all of these would have hours spent on each of them. Yeah, I'm reading the chat. What are you talking about? What's cracking? Maybe a little bit thicker. It feels wrong. How does it feel wrong? I could duplicate it and... Huh. That almost... I always read the chat. What are you talking about? Right. If I were to go with that one, at least I could then say that we've got something at the end. So what's their company called? It's called Enviro What's It, isn't it? Like you, fan master. Enviromech. Right, I'm going to get rid of the dash. I don't care if that's in their company name. Dashes in logos look awful. I'm changing it. Enviromech. We could separate the words, but in terms of font, I think probably just some clean sans serif font would be fine. Literally, yeah, Illustrator shortcuts are just hardwired into my brain. Some people are seeing a swastika in there. Really? Interesting. Can't say that that was something that I saw, but I think if you look hard enough, I think sometimes people will find a swastika in anything. I'm pretty sure that was the symbol for Buddhism as well. I'm pretty sure the Nazis stole that symbol, didn't they? It was the symbol for Buddhism and peace. And they were like, yeah, we'll borrow that. It's probably a legal case there, you know. Right. For this to work, I got to move these lines a bit further apart because I want to make it smaller, but then they all kind of bunch together a bit too much. Yeah, so at least that way there's a bit more space. Have I distorted it? Yeah, I distorted it then. There we go. You could even rotate it as well. It's just another option. And we still haven't even explored putting it in a shape. If we do that, we might not need to. Oh, what about... Oh, really? It's pretty common to see it in India. Okay, so in what instance? Like, where would you see the peace symbol, for example? Because I've never been to India, so I've got absolutely no idea. Like, if you were out and about, like, where would you see it normally? Would it be like a place of worship or something? Temples and buildings. Okay. That's so interesting. I'd love to go to India. Actually, there's loads of places in the world I'd love to go to. I know Poppy would as well. Hopefully one day we'll get to experience some of them. So many cultures and things that I know literally nothing about. Yeah, so instead of just a box shape, maybe something like that. We could even make it even more minimal. Because if we went with a box, it's just, I don't know, it feels a bit literal, you know? Just like, oh, here's a fan. And I haven't even highlighted the part on the fan. That I need to explore that actually before I run out of time. At least if I can get this one idea sort of done, then I can go back and try some other stuff. Enviromech. Right, let's duplicate that. We don't have to have the thing around the outside. Looks like Google Photos. Oh, what is the... Oh, flipping heck. Actually, that does give me another idea. We could do something sort of similar but different. But it was really this S part. So, oh no, how am I going to do this? Oh, how am I going to do this? So I need to separate this here. So do I add a point? Oh yeah, there we go. And then break that. Oh, that was all right. That was fine. So I just need to separate it. Add a point. Oh, right. You just click with the node tool to add a point. That's quite easy, actually. I'll stop complaining. And then I was going to add a green. So let's just throw in any green for now. Oh, no, not the whole thing. Not the whole thing. I need to cut that. Right, how do I separate these pieces? Split? No. I'm trying to... I want to cut these pieces, but I can't cut them and paste them, because if I do that, it just deletes the whole thing. You can't cut and paste anchor points, at least not in the way that I normally would. That's another thing that's sort of throwing me off a bit. Yeah, we could always get rid of the corners. So I think that was the plan. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work or not. That was one idea. Unless... That's not green. That's red. What about if... instead... Is that a fan? Let's get rid of this and this. And let's make that all black again. I don't know if that makes it better or just different. We can get rid of these. Vector separate curves. Oh, that's interesting. See, this is what I'm finding with Affinity is there's usually a way to do a lot of what you can do in Illustrator. It's just I don't know it. So if I why is it ghosted? Why can I not do that? Yeah, I'm going to have to play around with that. That could be quite useful. Merge curves and separate curves. Enviromech font. Just try it with something like this for now. In fact, let's just try and throw something together. Why are you not selecting everything? Why is it not selecting the... Let's just switch it back to that. Oh, God, it's doing that thing again. See, this is the sort of thing that catches me out. Yeah, now it's selecting it. Yeah, let's size this up a bit. That's a bit better. And then we'll push these out. Normally for this, I would spend a lot longer on the sketching and ideation part of the process. Like you've probably seen before, we do loads of sketching. But we're on the clock. And actually, we can make something look pretty decent, pretty easily as well, I think. So instead of a hyphen, we just use different font weights to separate that out. Maybe we do that the other way around, actually. Maybe the Envira is lighter. And then we have the mech in the chunkier font. Maybe. Or we just have it all one word and use color. There's so many different ways that you can separate things. Right, let's just chuck a background color in. I'm thinking like I've got a kind of rough idea in mind. Not the stroke. Something like that. And then we got this here. Let's start with the light version first. Right. Right, what are we doing color-wise? And how are we going to get the green in there? Oh my god, it just keeps selecting the stroke. It's so annoying. Yeah, so you could sort of make a palette. There's no blue in there. It's a cool idea, but I don't think it's fully realized yet. Or maybe it needs something else. I don't know. You like that color? I'm just trying to think how to get the green in there. I want to get the... I think the green was originally going to be in the waves. But I don't know. I'm not sure about mixing two colors like that. Unless you get the green into here. Here we go. I'm a bit more familiar with this color picker. Yeah, I don't know. Merge and separate curves only works with two layers. Oh, so they've got to be separate curves. The Discord link is on Dansky.com on the homepage. Yeah, let's just try the text. So what was it? Light, and then going a bit bolder for the mech. And then the tracking, that is the spacing between the letters, all of them. We could, all right, just bring that in a bit. Just tighten it up so you see the difference. I mean, normally I wouldn't even start playing with color until we get an idea. I mean, that's okay. It just doesn't. It feels like there's something missing. Like it's just not. It's not quite there yet. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe if it's just me. And I think the font might need tweaking as well. Like it's a clean modern symbol, like technically well executed and all that. So it's precise, but it's still got to be relevant for the end use. But at least there's a design. There is a design. So whatever happens in the next 10 minutes, there is a design. So that's that's something. I mean, another idea I did have, which is very, very similar to the Google Photos thing. Sort of similar, but kind of not really as well. How am I going to do this? So I need to cut out this piece. Oh, actually, no. What am I doing? We'll use the square. There we go. We'll do that. And then this is going to have a fill color. And how do I do the, where is it? Transform origin. There we go. Move that to this point and rotate. Duplicate, 3 copies, rotation 90 degrees. Actually, we'll keep the transform origin on. That's pretty useful. And then was it like slightly different? So they kind of overlap. And then each one has a different color. Yeah, it gave me something like this. And then you could kind of have like a gradient running around all of them. Don't know. What about the corners? Actually, that's not something I really played with much. Was the corners? I should be able to adjust them, right? There's a little bit more fan-like. It's something that's just not right. I can't quite put my finger on it. Yeah, let's go back to black, I think. Hmm. Ooh. Yeah, this particular design doesn't really work in a fill version unless I connect things up. So it's definitely more of like a monoline style. Hey, Trimanonymous. Sorry, I was struggling with that then. Installation, yeah. There's lots of different ideas to explore off here as well. I wonder. What about if I pull that down? So how did I do that? Pull it in the middle. Straight down. Push you straight up. Got to try and balance it on both sides. I mean, that looks that looks nice. Let's just use that. That's an airflow, right? Duplicate and rotate. It's not really a fan anymore. Wonder if we could duplicate it. Just what about if we are just really making very random ideas now. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that. Looks like some sort of four-pointed starfish. There was a shield idea, wasn't there? Oh, this pencil tool is quite nice, apart from that weird line there. Could you do a straight line? So straight line to there, and then a curved one to there. Style picker, why aren't you working? Hysteresis curve. Ooh, I've got no idea what that is. What on earth is that? Yeah, I think maybe a font. 1 minute, right? We've got 1 minute to pick a font. There we go. Papyrus. Done. Ooh, what about Inter? I like Inter. Let's go with that. And in terms of, colors. It's not exactly. I don't know why the color picker keeps making things red. Unless we just make that green. There we go. That is the 90 minutes. So that is the end result at 90 minutes. Oh my goodness. It's okay. It's not finished by a long stretch. The colors, obviously, they need a lot more work. The idea itself, I think it's got potential as an idea. But the font has had no time put into it whatsoever. But I think some sort of sans serif font will look pretty good. But it just, you got to experiment with lowercase, uppercase, different fonts, different font weights. A lot of sans serif fonts are very similar, but you can, like some that you think they look similar, but when you actually flick through them, they've got like different A's. You can kind of get like a double stacked A or a single stack A. Just loads of those characters, they do make a difference. Yeah, do you think outfit was much better? Yeah, I think you might be right, actually. How did outfit look? I think it was... Yeah, it was. It was. You see the difference in something like the A? This is like a lot a more older style of A, whereas that's a more modern A. So yeah, maybe we should go back to that. Yeah. Oh, the colors as well. The green around the outside. It's just not the right green. But yeah, if we were to look at the original, where are you? All the way over here. I think the thing as well, like I know it's like 90 minutes, so it's a challenge to do a lot of it, but the idea as well, I think it's like a lot of logos. There's going to be like a super clever idea in here that, mixes flow with maybe a dial and it turns it into something. Like I always try and get like a clever aspect to my logos, but to do it in 90 minutes, it does happen sometimes, but it's quite rare. Just so people don't think that, you should be able to bang out killer logo is in like no time at all. Like I spend a lot of time on sort of project stuff. But yeah, there's our before and after. I wonder if I just change the color of the text to sort of pull out the why is it not changing color? Don't select the stroke. I want to change the fill color. What is going on? Oh no, it's gone silly. My cursor's gone stupid. It's like jumping to my other screen now. That's definitely like a multi-screen bug or something. Yeah, so let's go with a different green. I'll copy this color here. Oh, has it converted that to... No, I can edit it. There we go. Let's paste the color in instead. It's probably a bit safer. Oh, that's a bit better. And then in terms of this, we'll go with like a super dark navy color. And then the same for that as well. So we're a little bit closer. I'm not sure what their font is. It looks like it's either been squished or it's like a very narrow style of font. I'm not sure. Cursor wants to get back to Illustrator. Oh, funny. Yeah, the Discord is on Dansky.com. So on the homepage, there's a link to sign up to the Discord community. You think it feels more medical? Do you think? Yeah, maybe that's not the way to go then. Or maybe there's things you could do to make it feel less medical. So, I don't know, maybe you could quite literally turn it into a more of a fan. And then lean into that aspect more. I don't know why the eyedropper tool keeps sampling red. That's got to be a bug or something. There we go. Oh, I'm going to have to carry on with this one. It's like with all projects. There's like, if you don't get like the idea that you're like, yes, that is the one. It's something that at least I find it always just niggles. I'm not getting the medical thing myself, personally. I think it's like a lot of things. Everyone's going to see it differently. So if you ask, 10 different people what they see, you're going to get potentially 10 different answers. But yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, definitely could have done better. It's just time. It's like everything. It doesn't matter whether it's logo design or photo manipulation. Time is the secret ingredient because you just get to flesh things out more. And yeah, I don't think I really landed on any idea here that I was like, yes, this is the one. This was the closest one. And I still think that's got some potential with a bit of refinement. I would have loved to have... Yeah, I don't know if there's a way to do it. To get like, what I wanted to have was like the green, possibly even a gradient in there, just showing the flow in that part at that curve. But it's difficult because it connects to these parts. So you have to, maybe I could have sort of broken them apart. However, I add a break. Oh, I've got so many of Illustrator's shortcuts in my head. Yeah, so break them apart and then change the color of this one to like a green. But it's doing it in a way where it looks good as well. So, oh yeah, that's where we ended up. I'm gonna have to play around with this some more because I really like the current logo, the one at the bottom. I really am not a fan of it, and to me that's just makes it even more exciting to try and get something just so good that you just see like an insane transformation. And it makes a good before and after as well. Yeah, it might actually be the font. The font maybe not doing it any favors. So, I'm sure there might be an even better font. It's not a lot of time, but it does make for a fun stream and a good challenge. And sometimes, you just got to just make stuff, and it's not always going to be absolutely banging. So I think it's a good exercise. It's very easy for me as well. Like you can become very like you can become a perfectionist and you just obsess over things, and a month goes by and it's like that one project still going on. And sometimes you just gotta, just do some stuff and just, move on from it. Or, it's a good exercise, I think, in creativity as well. Even if they use the top one, it'd be way better. Yeah, I think that the thing that gives it the edge a lot is the technical execution. So even though I would say that, yeah, there's loads of things that aren't finished with this, the concept itself, particularly like the logo mark, it's not right, it needs work, blah blah blah. If you can technically execute things as well, so kind of lining up the type, the box lines up to this, the spacing here is one of the character width, which is a good a good kind of benchmark to measure distance between the type and the logo mark. All this stuff is perfectly symmetrical, I think. Hopefully, if I've done it right, you can rotate it around and it will look exactly the same every 90 degrees. It's central in the box. So many of those little details I see a lot of logos get wrong. So if you can nail the technical side of it, even if it's not the best concept, it already puts what you're doing ahead of so many other logos that might have a very creative idea. I see it all the time, a creative idea that's like, that's such a clever idea, but the execution is like flawed, or the curves aren't smooth, or do you know what I mean? So I think those are the two parts. It's like the idea and the execution, they kind of go hand in hand. And I think that's what gives me a bit of an advantage, is I'm like you probably know I'm a very technical designer. Or maybe you don't if you're new to this channel. Like, I'm very technically oriented. I'm looking at spacing, detail, like I'm very logical and methodical. And yeah, as long as I can get like a good creative idea, which usually takes quite a long time, you sort of pair that with the technical side of it, your attention to detail and all that, and that's when you get like the winners that you go, yeah, that's a good idea. Exactly, Care. Yeah, it forces you to make decisions. And it's definitely harder doing it live as well. Like, I'm not making excuses, but there is an element to it because you're trying to read the chat and stuff as well. So yeah, sorry if I wasn't able to read everyone's questions. But I think to get a better idea here, it goes back to this. This is probably one of the most important and underrated parts of the process. If you're trying to come up with like a good creative idea for something like the logo mark, like some designers will be more type oriented and they'll do something beautiful with type, and sometimes that's the way to go. But for me, I like coming up with clever marks and symbols and things. So this is where I spend a lot of time to get those better ideas. It's just so much easier to sketch ideas and play around with them. And so there's usually like a lot of back and forth. Like yeah, we'll sort of kind of start playing around with these ideas and then go back to sketching. This is what I love about Affinity, is I can kind of go back to the Pixel Studio, sketch some more. That's a cool idea. Back to Vector, let's go and make it. But yeah, I think the bird had potential. Maybe, yeah, maybe the Twitter not Twitter bird. Like the idea, the way that it was all connected. You could have flow, energy. Yeah, maybe. And then, of course, it would be mocking that up and relating it back to the brief. And does it kind of fulfill that? Yeah, I do like that. So who knows? Who knows how it would have played out if we went with that idea instead? Yeah, I think making it live must be really hard, but you make it seem easy. I think that's just because I've been doing it for such a long time, and because there's no pressure. Like, if I don't get a winning design, I don't care. Like, it's not like, like I think because I find live easy because, you just get to show up and I get to just be my idiot self. And if someone, joins the live and says, oh, this is rubbish, or, oh, you're a terrible designer, I just genuinely don't care. I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. So because I'm not bothered by that, it takes a lot of that pressure off. You know, I can just show up, do 90 minutes, see where we get to, and then, you know, it's what it is. The yin yang may be a good route also. Maybe? I don't know. Oh, it's very good. Yeah, I think a lot of the quirks of Affinity is just because I've been so hardwired to use Illustrator for 20 years. So, especially the stuff with the node tool and how to connect points and break them, like I'm so used to Illustrator that it's just takes a bit of figuring out, but hopefully that's what I'll be able to do more of those short videos on the channel for. Because as I learn things, I'm like, right, that's how you do the thing. I can just make videos and then put them out really quickly. And hopefully help other people who are going through the same thing I'm going through. Extra time and penalties, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I might carry this one off. Carry this one on. Off stream. I think it'd be like just what I'd probably do is I'd go back to sketching. I think I'd go back to sketching, get the iPad out, maybe sit on the sofa, have a cup of tea or coffee or whatever, and just work on the sketches. That's the next thing I would probably do. Another thing, I would love to carry on, but I got loads of stuff to do, and I've got a call soon, and yeah, it's all going on today. But yeah, we'll be doing more streams for sure. And if you enjoyed this one, let me know. You know, we can do lots. We can do logos, we can do photo manipulation. We can do any of it really, because I'm still learning Affinity, so I'm kind of quite happy to just throw myself into any of it, because, you know, I've got to learn how to do all this different types of design anyway, so we can do whatever. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. If you're following along with this, I posted the brief for this, and the original link to the website in the Discord. So if you want to have a go at this and you want to post your sketches and your designs, yeah, you go for it. I'd love to see them. It'd be so cool. Not yet. I don't really do like a ton of collaboration. So I think if I were collaborating with people that used it, maybe, but it's not something I think I've personally experienced yet. But that might pose a problem. We'll see. Do you do posters at all? I'll do it all. Yeah, I do it all. I've not done a poster in a while. I think the Star Wars one might have been the last one. I can't remember. Oh, I mean, I teach both now. The reason that I'm interested in using Affinity is because it's all in one app now. And to me, that is exciting. And the fact it's free. And there's going to be a lot of people that want to learn it, because now that doorway is suddenly open. You know, there's no cost to get into the software, and it's all in one app, which just it's intimidating at first, but once you get used to it, you know, it's just great for so many designers. So, you know, if I was going to give up on it after a few weeks, I wouldn't have started a new YouTube channel. Put it that way. You know, I wouldn't have set it up. I wouldn't have bothered. I've thought about doing Affinity for a long time, and when they went one app and it's free, for me in my brain, that was like, right, green light. I'm going with this now. Got to teach it. It's going to help too many designers and creatives out there. So, yeah, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Exactly, yeah. I think the fact that the new channel, this channel's blown up to like, what, over 17,000 subscribers is not only amazing, and, you know, I appreciate all that support, but I think it's a testament to how many people are interested in either learning it or just trying it and seeing if they can switch or whatever. So yeah, it's definitely shaking things up. Going free, that's for sure. What happens next? I got no idea. Oh yeah. Unmesh from Pix and Perfect's great. He's he's so cool. Right. I'm gonna go now. And yeah, if you want more of these streams, please do shout at me, throw things at me, bark at me in the Discord, all the usual, usual abuse. But yeah, take care, have a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you next week. Bye.